Hi guys, welcome to Shiva Perseverance Software Training Institute. Alright, okay, so in this particular video, a most crucial component within Kubernetes technology, right? Uh, Kubernetes as a tool is a very vast technology which handles many operations internally, right? And externally when it comes to the working operations and managing the apps hosted within Kubernetes cluster. So today I'll be discussing about a very core topic, which is Ingress controller. So what is Ingress? Let me tell you that the clients, okay, so before that, this is our cluster. So I have already created our cluster, which is available on Azure Kubernetes service, which is Azure Cloud. So it is already there. So let me show you that. Alright, so I'm should be going here. So yeah, right. So here I'm on Azure Cloud. So if you get kubectl get nodes, it should display the two available worker nodes for my cluster. Alright, so if you try to check in pods, there is nothing available. Services, a default is running, nothing is available. Fine, this is my cluster which is already ready. Now let's talk what is Ingress controller. See, basically what happens is when the clients connect to our applications which are hosted inside our pods within the cluster, right? So somebody should take the responsibility and route the traffic, right? Meaning of that, somebody once the user's request enters our cluster, somebody should take the responsibility, and according to the requirement, that somebody should route the traffic to the destinated pods where that requirement can be fulfilled. Okay, so let me explain you now. So that somebody is nothing but our Ingress controller. So what is Ingress controller? The users request something within our application. The moment it enters our cluster via internet, and we have something like load balancer in middle. I will come to this. What is Ingress managed load balancer? So just for now, what you should consider is users request entering the cluster. So somebody should take over the responsibility, and that somebody is Ingress controller. And to this Ingress controller, the Kubernetes admin will tell direct and pass some rules. What rules are they? Routing rules, all right? Meaning of that, if somebody requests about, so please route to this particular service only. If somebody requests contact, please route to this particular service only. The same like for careers, for gallery, right? The same for careers and gallery. So the thing is, if you see now, users request enter the cluster. Ingress controller is nothing but a piece of, it's a software, right? That software will be running again inside a pod. This software, what it does, we as a Kubernetes administrator should direct Ingress what to do according to the user request. That what to do is nothing but routing rules. So we pass the routing rules to the Ingress controller. Ingress controller will validate the user request comparing with the routing rules, and according to the direction specified in the routing rules, it will direct, okay, user asked about, so go to this service. User asked gallery, go to this service. User asked careers, go to this service. User asked contact, go to this service. and intent, the service will forward the traffic anyways to the corresponding pods, correct? Clean. So this is the job of the ingress controller. See, we discussed two things here. Let me highlight. One is ingress controller, other one is routing rules. Actually, this routing rules should be called as ingress or resource, but you can make a note and register yourself when it comes to rules, like routing rules, ingress routing rules, something like that, right? So that's actually rules only. Okay, so now I hope everyone here is clear. Fine. So now what we're gonna do now is, I have a cluster already running, right? I have a steps drafted already. We'll be deploying different workloads and services. What I did, I have I have created all the required manifest. I'll be sharing all of them with you. You can utilize it. So I have some V1 version of my software and V2 version of my software. So meaning of that, we need to develop the manifest for this and deploy the software of V1 and V2 with the corresponding services. So these services are of cluster IP type, right? Then we should install ingress controller. This is the one. So actually ingress controllers are provided by different companies, right? Organizations. So I'm picking up Nginx, which is most popular here. So Nginx ingress controller, which is available on this particular YAML. So the complete software will be available here. So this is for step 2. Step 3 is deploying ingress rules. Step 4, we can test it, right? We'll see this at last. So firstly, let's deploy this. All right. We are firstly deploying two different deployments. All right. Okay, so let me grab here the code. I had deployed something latest. Just looking for it. All right. Okay, it should be at last. So actually, this is called as runbooks, where we'll be sharing all this to the students of our institute while working with the corresponding topics. So let me go through and use the same one. All right. Here we go. So we have here, let me copy this. Perfect. Fine, guys. So here we are deploying a deployment object. Name is this. Shiva Perseverance deployment V1, 3 replicas. This is the labels, required labels to match, right? And template, this is all about pod template. So labels, so this should be definitely matching. Should be matched, right? This is specification. Now I'm deploying a container, namely front-end SSP, where the image used is Persev Korea 6577 deployment strategy :V1. So fine. And this is the port on which it is exposed. And coming to the service, this is the service where we are having V1 service, and we are basically applying the label here. So label is SSP dev V1. So to connect our service to that particular pod, we should use SSP dev V1 selector. Hope we are clear. So this is a cluster IP type of service. Yeah. So just copy it. Let's go to our cluster. Just give something like v1.yml. Go inside. So just paste it. So here we go. So let's save and deploy. So kubectl apply -f v1.yml should be the command for deployment. All right. So see, we have our deployment in place and service in place, we can cross verify. So just give, get pods. We should have 3 pods, yeah, all running, cool. And we should have the corresponding service. So yep, we have the latest service on. And now I have another one which I'm taking from our Insta document. So now I'll be deploying V2 version of that. See, why I'm doing all this is like, I want to show you how this ingress exactly works, right? So here, if you see, everything is same, but here it is V2 and the image is V2. So it's the same criteria. We are taking 3 replicas within the deployment, wherein inside which we are using V2 version of the image, right? And we have a service accordingly. Yeah, perfect. So now go to v2.yml, escape I, just paste it. Okay, so all right, so let's apply this v2.yml. So now we have 3 parts of v1, SSP deployment v1. Now we should get other 3 parts of v2 as well. So these 3 are v2. Cool. All right, guys, so this is completed. Let's install. So it's a straightforward one. As I told, we have many. We have like HA proxy as where we can use HA proxy as ingress controller. We have Nginx, popular one. We have AGIC from Azure, application gateway ingress controller. So we have many solutions. I'm picking up Nginx, most popular one. So just right click and paste. All right. See, before that, I want to showcase you something that to list the namespaces, you can give kubectl get ns. So here, see, there are 4 namespaces which are actually available by default when we create a cluster. So now you will get a new namespace after deploying it, deploying our ingress controller. See, it is taking up this manifest from the web and deploying it. So see, it is deploying multiple objects. Cool, this is done. So now we have our ingress controller available. If you give get ns, there will be a new namespace within which our controller, meaning of ingress controller is this particular software is deployed within Ingress Nginx namespace as a pod. You can check that kube control get all -n ingress -nginx. This namespace name is according to the YAML, right? See, if you see here, so this is our controller, Ingress Nginx controller, which is available up and running. Okay, perfect. See, in this image now, so I have explained everything, but this one I told we'll see later. So let's see now. So the moment we deploy an ingress controller, automatically this deploys a ingress managed LB, which is load balancer, because the load balancer is for accepting the external traffic from the users. So load balancer will be there, which is deployed on the cloud. So what happens is the moment we deploy ingress controller, if you see here, we got a load balancer of this particular external IP. Okay, so now when the users sends the request, it will be firstly coming into the cluster via ingress managed load balancer, and then it comes to ingress controller. Okay, fine. So we can check here. See here, this was a previous update. So we have single LBIP, right? So when we verify our cluster, so 16182, this is our LBIP, ingress managed load balancer IP. If you refresh, you should get one here, which is the same, right? 16182. Cool. Now we are clear about step 2 as well. So we are done with installation of Ingress controller. So now we have LB also deployed, which is managed by Ingress controller, right? So we should call what? Ingress controller, right? Ingress managed, right? LB, correct? Fine, Ingress managed LB. Alright, now these two are done. So now let's deploy the routing rules, right? So routing rules, let me show you that what are routing rules, how it looks like, right? So let me show you that. Okay, so now we have two deployments. Okay, so let me copy here. Yeah, see, the requirement here now is we have, all right, we have our cluster available and we have our Ingress controller. So we have Ingress managed load balancer already deployed on the cloud, right? Via which users sends the request. User sends the request, LB will be receiving it and forwarding the traffic to the Ingress controller. So now, Ingress controller should have some rules, right? Routing rules, right? That rules we should be deploying so that we already have V1 pods and V2 pods in place, right? So which is our two deployments already. So we should have some routing rules so that when somebody asks V1, it should route to these pods, and when somebody asks V2, it should route to these pods. So now we are deploying our routing rules. So those rules are this. So let me show you that. So the kind is Ingress now. So name of our Ingress, and see, this is basically for rewriting. Meaning of that is, if, for example, what is $2? So when we go to our testing part, right, you will get to know this. So let me just explain you for now that if your path is, for example, we'll consider this. So path given here is version 1. So if we need something like, if we have something like this, if the users requested something like version 1 index, right? What is this is? This will be rewritten to, okay, only this, okay, right? Version 1, after that we have some path. For example, here also, if we consider one more example, like, version 1 / app / testing. So $2 means is from this particular, data, right? Everything after version 1, this is our main path which have been given here. So everything after our main path will be considered, and this totally will be rewritten to the one which starts after version 1, which is index here. Just / index will be sent, and in this case it will only send / app / testing. So it will not, send this here. Okay, fine. That is the case of $2, which is very crucial. Okay, so this will rewrite your target. Fine. Now we are using Nginx controller, right? And let's come to the rules. HTTP paths. This is our first path. So /version 1. If somebody asks /version 1, prefix meaning starting with this path only. All right. Yeah. So it should forward. So now Ingress controller will be reading these rules, and when somebody requests version 1, we are telling Ingress controller, go to your service within the cluster which is available with this name on this port. And if somebody asks version 2, go to this service on this port. All right. So that we are telling, right? Nothing else. So just copy this. We are at step 3. So go to your cluster and deploy this. Okay. So kubectl get ingress. So there will be nothing for now. So vi ingress rules.yml. So go inside just paste this and let's deploy. So hope you guys understood. See what we are doing now. We have a cluster, we have our so this is pod 1, pod 2, pod 3 of v1, and this is pod 1, pod 2, pod 3 of v2 version. So we have deployed the controller already, which in turn deployed a load balancer. The user who tries to access our application using our load balancer IP, it will route the request to Ingress controller. Thus, by reading these rules, right? These rules, okay? So it will check, okay? It will check the routing rules supplied, and according to that, if somebody asks version 1, it will go here. If somebody asks version 2, this will go here. Okay, fine, clear, perfect. So now let's do this. Okay, so give kubectl get ingress. So before deploying routing rules, there was nothing. Now we should get one with that LB supplied. Okay, okay, because we have not applied this, right? Apply kubectl apply -f ing rules. So now we have deployed ingress routing rules. Now get ingress, it should get one. So here under address, we should get that LBIP, all right, load balancer IP, this one, which is ingress managed load balancer. Okay, we should get that within a couple of seconds. Okay, let's watch this. Yeah, we got it. Fine, clear. So now everything is done. We are good to test. How we need to test? Take the load balancer IP, the corresponding port with the path you want to test. Okay, so I'm copying the load balancer IP from here. You can copy simply from here as well. Watch is not required. So copy this IP. So go to some browser. IP:80/ we have given version 1, enter. So yeah, okay, click on continue to site. We got it. We got the version 1 of our software. Now it is actually routing us to the required destination. Give version 2, just test it. See, this is my version 2. To make the difference, I have changed the color. So now if you see version 1 is here, and if you see version 2, both are working. Okay. All right, so yeah, this ends our discussion for today. So yeah, so this test successful, right? Okay, fine. So I'll be sharing all this requirements in the description. You can go through and implement it. Okay, so test it, you will get the complete hands-on. I hope this is clear. Yeah, thank you.